This episode of Walsh Wednesday is brought to you by MHA of Dutchess County, the Council on Addiction Prevention and Education of Dutchess County Incorporated, Dayrock, Lockset Rock Hair Design, A Touch of Naples Pizza and Pasta, Dutchess Beer Distributors, Feldman, Kleiman, Collins & Sape, LLP, Attorneys at Law, Prime Storage, and Walsh Valuation. Let's stay curious, keep an open mind, and as always, I'm glad we get to spend some time. Welcome to Walsh Wednesday. I'm probably going to have to edit a lot of this because if this ever goes live and people hear the stories you're telling about them, it's not going to go well.
You may want to take that story out.
Maybe. A couple of these stories I think I'm going to have to edit a few things with.
No problem.
Oh, jeez. Connor, Terry, as always, glad we get to spend some time. You've heard it enough.
I hope so, but I screwed it up last year.
You did, actually. That's such a shame. It was still early last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what were you, the 4th episode? Yeah, now we're like 50-something episodes in, so here we go.
Congratulations.
Thank you. All right, here we go. Hey there, and welcome back to Walsh Wednesday. As always, I'm Conor Walsh, coming to you from the new MHA studios, and we got a great episode for you guys today. The last time we had this guest on, we were in the home office building. We were joking about that last time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't work from home anymore. I got this place. This is so cool. And now we get to invite Dad. Actually, this is his first time in here checking it all out.
Yes,
so
it is.
This is cool.
Terrific. This is a wonderful place.
Thank you, Andrew. But yes, fantastic place, and really happy to have my dad in. It's really kind of cool to see the advancements a year can do. But so just like last year, he was in to talk about the Officials versus Cancer basketball tournament. Guess what? He's here to talk about it again, but we're also going to be talking about more stories about, what got him into officiating, some of the highs and lows of it, and just some of the legacy about it too, especially 41 years in the business. That's crazy.
That is true. It's been a long journey. Fortunately, the legs have held up. Very few injuries, and I can keep running.
Yeah.
So, I keep running until they catch me.
There you go. Well, that's kind of similar to Graham's. The only reason why the cops never pulled her over was because she was too fast.
That's true.
So you're kind of like the same way on the basketball court.
Connor comes from a long line of leadfoots.
Yeah. But then in your case, let's see, age hasn't caught up to you because you're too fast on the court. There you go.
I would like to think I'm too fast, but some would differ.
I'm trying to give you something here, Dad. But so officially introducing him, Terry Walsh, interpreter of IAABO Board 114.
114.
I should have remembered that.
Correct.
Okay, good. I did get it. And here to talk about Officials versus Cancer, Dad. I'm happy to have you in here today.
Thank you very much. It's good to see you because with your busy lifestyle now, I hardly see you anymore.
It's true.
Which is good. That's what a normal 28-year-old should be doing. But we miss you at home.
Understandable. I know I'm on the run constantly. Do you remember the SNL sketch? I think it came out a couple of years ago. It was about a father and son who weren't able to connect together. And it was poised as like a drug commercial, essentially.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can get prescribed podcasting. And it was the whole idea, like the father and son would never talk to each other regularly, but put them in front of mics, they'll actually have a chance to speak to each other, and they open up.
Yes.
I thought that was hilarious. And I think that was like roughly around the time I had you on. I think that was when I had you on In Touch.
Yeah,
I think it goes
probably
back. It was roughly around that time, and I'm like, oh, this is too time. I like to think we talk better than that, though.
I think so. I think for father-son combination, we do very well.
Yeah, I would agree. So obviously, we'll get into a lot of fun stories. You have 41 years of experience in basketball. Not just that, you were inspired by Grandpa as well. And
Right.
we have a number of things that we can talk about with him. I always say to people who met him or knew him or heard of him, I'm so sorry, we'll pay for your therapy.
That is true. Yes, Grandpa was a character.
Yeah.
Very black and white.
Yeah.
Very little gray in his life. Rules and officiating in sports. Sports were serious business.
Yeah.
To Grandpa.
Oh, I know.
So,
Well, that's what he did in the military.
that's true.
Sports was his thing in the military.
That's true. He played baseball in Alabama. He played football in Brooklyn. He played basketball in Mississippi. He played softball in Guam. What did you do in the war, Daddy? And he would
Played a lot of sports.
Played sports.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
No. Everybody had their role in different ways. He had it in the morale category, I guess you could say.
That is true.
However, I love Grandpa, but morale would not be the first word that came to mind with him. No, but that's good, and we'll definitely want to get into some of those stories. But we might as well start off with the Officials versus Cancer. This is the 12th official year. There was some
We missed 2 years
from
due to
COVID. Yeah.
But this is our 12th season that we are doing that. It's going to be on February 1st, 2016, on a Sunday at Dutchess Community College. They have been great to us over the years, and we keep going back. And we got to thank Matt Piquet,
Yes.
the athletic director over at Dutchess Community College, for his, anything we want, he does for us that day.
Yeah.
And he does a great job.
No, Matt's good over there. He takes care of things really well.
Yes, yeah. So we have a terrific lineup of 5 high school basketball games.
Let's hear who it is.
Starting at 11 o'clock. And this is the game that is the fight.
Oh, they really put us up against each other again?
Yes, they did. We have at 11 o'clock the FDR Presidents against the Cornwall Green Dragons.
I'm FDR, he's Cornwall.
That's right. I graduated from Cornwall High School. You graduated from FDR.
Yep.
My father, his grandfather taught, and also grandmother taught at Cornwall schools.
Yep.
And my father was the athletic director there and coached. He was, I believe, the first football coach.
Oh, really?
At Cornwall High School when they centralized.
Oh, that I don't think I knew.
Yeah, and there's even another connection. Dwayne Davis, the very famous
Dwayne Davis
high school basketball and baseball coach at FDR, played for Conor's grandfather at Cornwall and Hudson High School his senior year. And if my memory serves me right, they won a county championship, Orange County championship
Only one?
that year. Yeah.
Okay.
In baseball. I know my father also won a county championship in soccer.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think Dwayne Davis played soccer. But
you're saying just with Dwayne Davis? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But first time I had FDR, Dwayne Davis didn't realize who I was. Second time he did, and he goes, "Had I known, I would have ridden you harder."
Exactly.
So
yep.
Yeah, there's a famous story Dwayne Davis always tells of my grandfather, or Conor's grandfather, my father, that Dwayne came off the field. He played second base for my dad.
Mm-hmm.
It was a tight game, and Dwayne goes, "Oh, thank God, the ball wasn't hit to me." And my father grabbed him and said, "Always expect the ball to be hit to you." And Dwayne never forgot that. And he passed that along to his players.
Always expect and always want the ball. I remember Grandpa saying want.
Yeah, want the ball. Yep.
Yeah.
So Dwayne passed that along to his players all throughout the years at FDR.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great mentality to have, whether it's in sports, whether it's really just about anything. You want the opportunity to come at you, whatever that might be. So I think that's cool. So, okay. So we got 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock to start off. That's the Walsh household divider.
Yep, that's the rivalry.
And then at 12:45, we have Kingston Tigers. They're playing the Troy Horses.
Oh, that's ironic. Troy Horses.
Yeah, Troy Horses.
the Trojan horse.
Out of the Albany area. I have a connection. Here's an interesting story. I have a connection with Troy.
Okay.
Where the football coach up there, Jack Berger, who won a state championship a number of years ago for Troy, was my Pop Warner quarterback.
Oh, fun.
In Newburgh.
Nice.
He went to NFA, graduated from Albany State, and then started coaching at Troy, and he won a championship there.
Oh, that's fun. So,
quick sidebar on that one.
Love that.
At 2:30, we'll have the Arlington Admirals will play the Newburgh Free Academy Goldbacks.
That'll be a good game.
Yeah. And then 4:15, we have the Beacon Bulldogs against the Goshen Gladiators. Goshen's been very good recently, and Beacon is very quick, very good. I've had them a couple times already this year, and I expect them. That should be a real tough contest. And then the game that I'm officiating at the very end at 6 o'clock.
So you know who to yell at.
Yeah, Spack-and-Kill Spartans are playing the Saugerties Sawyers.
All right.
I've seen Spack-and-Kill. They're very big. They're a good team. And from what I've heard, I haven't seen Saugerties this year, but I'm told that they have a lot of very big players. So
nice.
It's going to be an inside game, which is nice, and we should have fun.
Yeah. No, it's always a great tournament every single year. This has been something we've been a part of pretty much since the very beginning of it. And it's great to see it come together. And it's been in a number of places throughout the years, but its main home for the last few years has been Dutchess Community College. And, you know, as you said, Matt Piquet, he's been helping us out over there. Great place, great way of going about it. So what can people expect once they get there besides the games?
Okay. Well, we ask a donation of $5 to get into the game, and all the proceeds go to the American Cancer Society. We don't keep a dime of what we make. So you'll have 5 terrific high school basketball games to watch. You'll have raffles. You'll have 50-50. You can buy the T-shirts that we give to the players. All the players get.
That was last year's.
This is last year's T-shirt.
The 11th annual.
The 11th annual. This year, I think we decided on a hot pink with black lettering.
Ooh, okay. That's kind of like the inverse of what we had for the 10th anniversary.
Yeah.
Black shirt with hot pink decal.
Yeah. I think that's what Mark is going to be getting this year.
Nice.
That goes to all the players and coaches, and then we usually have some extras. We sell those to fans who want to join in. We have food, we have snacks, we have pizza. We get pizza from Gino's Pizzeria down on Main Street in Poughkeepsie.
Very good.
They've been great to us over the years and supplied pizza for all of our tournaments.
I just want to say about Gino's Pizza, for anybody who ever watched like the Goofy movie back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and remember the scene with the cheese and how the cheese is just so ooey and gooey, and you're like, why can't there be pizza actually like this? Seriously, when you pull the pie up, you pull the slice up, it is exactly like that. Relive your childhood. If you're like millennial Gen Zer, you'll enjoy that pizza.
I remember last year we ran out of candy. We couldn't believe it.
That's true. We did.
It just flew off. So we have learned our lesson. We are going to be buying more candy for everyone. And, we'll have Gatorade and waters and different drinks for everyone. So, and I have to say this. We're going to have Conor performing. DJing.
I'm not performing.
No, he's not bringing out his guitar, but he will be DJing. He's got his electrical equipment, and we'll be setting up, and you'll have music to dance to all day long.
All day, all night. Have better equipment from last year, so we'll have. Should be able to have all the wireless mics work. Last year I had to daisy chain like 3 different cables just to get it over there.
Last year you filled in.
Well, last year it was last second. Last year. What, didn't I find out like the day before or something? Like it was quick. It was very short notice.
Yeah, we realized that the gentleman who was planning on doing it, he had a death in the family, and it wasn't good. So Conor jumped to action, plugged everything in, and got it working. It was great.
It was up and running sometime within the first game. It was not by the beginning of the tournament, I'll admit. But again, that's what happens when you call me up last second. You get what you get by the time that you gave me.
That's true.
But
That's
no,
true.
it came together.
He jumped into action and he did a great job.
I appreciate it. No, and it's always such a fun tournament. And it's funny what you're saying about the T-shirts. Like I go to the gym and I'll see so many people wearing the Officials versus Cancer shirts, and you can tell like what tournament they were a part of or whatever by like what color it was. It's like, oh, I remember that year. I remember doing that one. Oh, that's when we were back at NEWHALL. Oh, okay, that's the year that we had to be over in Fishkill. Oh, by that point we're at Dutchess. Oh, you must have been that team. Blah blah blah. Correct. When we did it in Fishkill that one time, was that Jay or Ketchum? I can't remember.
John Jay. We had a snow out.
Yes.
And we weren't able to play the games at Dutchess, and they didn't have an available date for us. We had to get it in by a certain date because the season ended.
Yeah.
And Terry Feely, who was the coach at John Jay at that point, offered the John Jay gym, and we went down there. I believe it was the next weekend, and we were able to get the games in and played it there. That was the only time we've ever had a complete snow out where we couldn't play it at the college gyms.
Yeah. We had one year a couple of years ago where I was sick running back and forth between the food truck outside and inside. That was the most brutal day. And that was also the same day that when I was still working at Town Square, it was the coldest day of the year and the pipes burst at Town Square building. So that's when everything got gutted.
Was that the same year that Dutchess Community College had trouble with their heat?
Yeah, there was no heat inside.
Yeah.
So it was even worse.
So the kids on the floor, they really ran fast that year because they were having heating problems. They had Central Hudson coming in and trying to fix the situation about midway through the tournament. By the last game, it finally warmed up a little bit.
Just in time. Yeah. No, but we should be good this year. Everything's looking great. We'll be fine. But no, it's a great lineup. Obviously, supporting the American Cancer Society, that's huge. Now, Officials versus Cancer is something that IAABO does all throughout all of its chapters, right? But we just happen to have, not to toot our own horns, one of the best ones, right?
That is true. We contribute, over the 11 years, we're well over $100,000.
That's impressive.
Award that we have contributed to the American Cancer Society through Officials versus Cancer. And, we're one of the, if not the top board, there might be a board out there that does something similar to what we do, but we're one of the top boards in the whole country contributing to this cause. Like I said, we're over 100,000 for the 11 years. Last year we contributed over $12,000. Basically, the revenues come from attendance. It's usually about half and half attendance and half sponsorships. We, as officials, we go out and solicit sponsorships from the community, and we're very lucky. We have a lot of people that are willing to contribute to the cause. Cancer touches everyone.
Yeah, no, absolutely does.
So people want to get involved, and this is a very worthy cause. We don't keep any money ourselves. All the officials who work the game donate their fee back to the cause. Everyone's just thrilled to get out on a college-sized court and work the game.
Yeah, no, it's a good time. And as you said, cancer really does impact everybody. I know, well, for instance, MHA is going to be sponsoring, so they're supporting. So again, thank you. But besides that, we've talked about at lengths, mom went through cancer and Ann went through cancer, grandma did, a lot of family members. And then, just recently, I was at the celebration of life for Alex's uncle, who, I believe it was originally lung cancer that turned to brain cancer. And then her uncle Wally, who just passed away, who was liver cancer. So like it impacts everybody. It's rough.
Oh, yeah. Well, the inspiration for this tournament really was we lost a number of members about 15 years ago from cancer.
Yeah.
And we wanted to, celebrate them. And really the guy who started this all was Kevin O'Connor, our president.
Shout out to Kevin.
And he had just gotten over a bout with sinus cancer. And he recovered from that, thank God, and is doing very well to this day. But it was his idea. He says, why don't we do a cancer tournament? Cancer touches us all. In the past, for Officials versus Cancer, we would have a meeting, we would pass the hat. People would put in $5, $10 or something. We'd raise, I don't know, $100. We'd send that in. We thought, oh, that's great. We did our part.
$100 up to $12,000.
Yeah. So, Kevin got this idea. We used to have a thing called the Red Fox Shootout that was played at Marist. But unfortunately, that got shot down because of state regulations about profiting from high school basketball. The state wanted the money to go directly to a charity. They didn't feel like the Red Fox Club was exactly a big enough charity that even though the Red Fox Club gave scholarships to Marist students. Yeah. But they said, well, the Red Fox Club could do that and still contribute to other things. And the Red Fox Club said, no, we don't. We do too much work to put this on to give away half of our money. Yeah. So that kind of fell apart.
No, that's fair.
So Kevin O'Connor approached SUNY New Paltz and was able to reserve their gym. We started talking to the schools, found interest. And the schools loved it. They wanted to play on a big college court, especially if they had sectional aspirations. They might someday down the road with sectionals be able to play sectional final there. And, the Officials versus Cancer tournament was born.
Yeah, there you go. And it's a great thing. Again, 12 years, very successful. So it's a great thing to do.
I would say after Kevin stepped back a little bit, we had Todd Boyd, our secretary-treasurer at the time. He did a tremendous job. And now Todd has stepped down, and Mark Hurley, our new secretary-treasurer, has stepped up, and he's doing a terrific job with it, along with the rest of the committee. But I would say Mark does most of the work. So.
And not to mention, the family members who come out too. You see Mark's family there. Mom and I are there. We see a lot of wives of officials who are there. Mom's put in a lot of time doing the concessions.
Yes.
When she hasn't been taking care of grandma and grandpa, of course.
Yeah.
And, I've been running around. I've done everything from the food trucks to selling the raffles to going around with the shirts to DJing now. So, there's a lot of it's a great family opportunity as well.
Yeah, we advertised it back when Conor was in high school.
Yeah.
You know, National Honor Society, they needed
X amount of hours.
You know, community hours out there, so we were able to sign off for that. I know the JENNA kids all jumped in and did that also. So you know, and the Hurleys.
Hurleys are very active. Mrs. Boyd was there for many years. She was integral.
Years. She was terrific.
And then, yeah, plenty of wives, partners, siblings, children, friends.
And then officials who aren't actually officiating the games, they'll come back and they'll help out with concessions or work the doors. Or we have retired officials who come back and they work the scoreboard all day long and the shot clocks and do the scoring. And you know, we get a number of people who are just, you know, you ask them, they go, no problem, we're there. Yeah. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, should be a great time. And again, that is Sunday, February 1st. It's going to be starting at 11.
Yeah.
And it's going to be at Dutchess Community College. We'll have more information about that in the description of this episode. Make sure that you go and check out the games, even if you just show up for one game. That's awesome. And there's a lot of fun. You can get in on the raffles, the food, all that. There's something for you in it besides just watching the games.
Hey, we have a half-court shot. You make it. You might get some Renegade tickets.
Yep.
You might get Dunkin' Donut
gift cards.
Yep. So that's a lot of fun. $1 shot. You get out there, make a fool of yourself, or you can make it.
There have been some people who made some pretty miraculous shots.
Oh, yeah.
What is that Will Ferrell movie where he's like running a basketball team? Oh, what is the name of that film?
The Flint Tropics.
Yeah, right? And what was it? Was it a half-court shot or a full-court shot? And the dude actually made it, and they're like, we don't have the money to give him.
Exactly. No,
we actually do, though. We have all the stuff.
We have the prizes.
But I'm just saying, there have been some shots that should never made it in that make it in, and it's like, oh my God.
Yep, exactly. It's a lot of fun.
No, it is a lot of fun.
We do that at halftime of just about all the games.
Yeah, no, that's a fun experience to have, and definitely worth coming out and experiencing it, seeing all of it, and to see everything.
Dance to Conor's music while you're up in the stands.
There might be some YMCA or something like that. We'll keep everybody active and up in their seats. We'll keep y'all as active as the players. Okay, maybe not as active as the players, but we'll keep it active.
And it's probably never too late if you want to sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have. Probably in the description, I'll give the sponsorship sheets, but for $100, you can get in the program. It's basically a business card size, or if you contribute over 500 to 1,000, you can get on the back of the t-shirts, or you can get special spots in the program, either the front cover, back cover. You can get on the posters that we put out. So any contribution will be accepted. And we're excited about it.
Yeah, definitely something to be excited about. So one thing's for sure, we definitely want to talk about is the fact, like, you know, it takes a lot of manpower to do something like this. It also takes a lot of manpower to do like a whole season worth of basketball. So there's a lot that's going on there. And, you know, across all different sports, we're seeing a ref shortage, basketball being no exception. So if we want to get into that for a little bit, talking about recruitment, I know we talked about it last year. We talked about it back at the radio station, but just like the importance of it.
Oh, yeah, because if we don't have referees, it's just a pickup game.
Yeah.
We need referees badly. I told Conor as I was walking up the steps to come to his studio, there you go, I'm a little slow because I did a doubleheader last night.
Yep.
And doing doubleheaders is not uncommon anymore. You know, we need referees. We desperately need referees. COVID hit us hard. We had guys who have aged out, who have injuries that they just can't keep going anymore. Guys who've changed jobs, you know, things they just can't get out to do the games that they would like to. There's a variety of reasons. You know, they tired of taking the abuse from the coaches, from the players, from the stands. You know, not everyone's got the makeup to handle that every night.
Dad's a bit of a masochist, so
a little bit, a little bit. Yeah, I remember my father talking about a guy that he had trained to be a referee, who was a very nice guy, but he was very quiet and very low key. And he tried it for a year and he hated it. He didn't like to get yelled at. And you know, we have to take the slings and arrows and still come out on the other side and be confident in the fact that we're doing the job right.
Yeah, no, I hear you with that. Let's talk about Grandpa for a while, because
Sure.
he's got plenty of great stories. Obviously, no longer here to tell them, but we can certainly tell them for him. There's a number of different things. Well, there was one story that you were just bringing up before we even got onto the mic about be careful on who you throw out or get mad at a game, because
Yeah, this is a fun story. I can't verify that it was true, but I heard it many times over the dining room table. When my father was in college up in Cortland, right after World War II, the Syracuse Nationals were there in the area, and they used to barnstorm for extra money because NBA players didn't make much money back then.
Yeah.
And this was kind of like the Dolph Shays era of the Syracuse Nationals, so they had a pretty good team. And they would play in these local towns in their high schools. They had heard that my father was a referee, so they said, well, we'll pick you up in Cortland. We'll bring you down to, I think they were going to Marathon or Homer, I believe. Do the game, we'll drive you back to Cortland. Well, what happened during the game was one of the Syracuse Nationals was dribbling up court, and one of the local guys from Homer stole the ball, went in for a layup. The guy from the Syracuse Nationals was embarrassed. So what he did was he slammed the guy from the back, crushed him. Of course, you're in one of these old gyms where the wall was right there by the backboard. Crushed him into the wall, and my father threw him out of the game. Problem was, that was his ride back to Cortland. So here, in a winter's night with the snow coming down, he had to walk about 8 miles back from the gym back to his room in Cortland. But that's the way Grandpa was.
Yeah. Well, speaking about like throwing out or technical somebody, you may not have or shouldn't have, or you never know how it's going to come back to bite you. Isn't there a story about him and President Trump?
Oh, he always got thrilled because
I'm thrilled too by this story. I love this story.
Well, President Trump went to New York Military Academy, which was there in Cornwall where we grew up and where my dad taught. And so my dad would always say, I called him out at first base.
Oh, it was umpiring. It wasn't basketball?
It was umpiring. I don't know if Trump was a basketball player. I know he played football and he was a very good baseball player.
Oh, I thought it was when he was doing basketball. Oh, it was baseball, huh?
Baseball.
Okay.
He called him out at first base, and he was very thrilled about that. So,
go Grandpa.
Whatever.
Besides that, though, Grandpa, he was very much an inspiration for you. You talked about, you wrote an article about this of carrying my father's bag, right?
Yeah, we used to go, Terry, Friday night, we're going out. Let's go. And off we went to the game, and I was thrilled. I loved it. And, I got to meet all of my dad's friends who were crazy, wacky characters who were referees. And, I would sit up in the stands and I go, oh, this guy's really good, or I could do better than that. And
that's me at a concert.
Yeah. So that's where I picked up the bug. And refereeing and officiating, we're always talked about it, my poor mom, but it was always talked about over the kitchen table.
Yep.
We would talk about, I started umpiring baseball at 16, and we would talk about the strike zone. How's your strike zone? Are you at the knees or are you below? How's your eyes looking? And then we got into basketball, and when I started in basketball, I was over in Orange County, and I used to do triple headers over at Stewart Field for the military over there. And every once in a while, my father would sneak in the gym, and a lot of times I wouldn't see him. And afterwards, he would say, if you can handle those games, you can handle any game.
That's impressive.
And he goes, you can referee.
Yeah.
And I remember one night, I was over refereeing it. I may have been doing the game alone. I'm not even sure. And the guy who was my assigner was playing in the game.
Oh.
So I called a foul on him, which happened to be his fourth foul.
And you never got assigned again.
The story goes, that was his fourth foul.
Yeah.
And he says to me, that was the worst foul you've ever made, called. And I said, that's a technical foul. So now it's his fifth foul, and he's out of the game. So afterwards, I walk up to him and I go, next Monday, same time? He goes, yeah.
Okay, so he still had respect for you there.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. Okay, I'm happy to hear.
But here I am, a first or second year official, and I'm pulling that stuff.
Oh, that could have gone a number of different ways.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. I want to bring up one story about Grandpa, you and Grandpa, how he brought you to this one game that you may not have exactly felt as safe as you could have been at. I think you know what story I'm referring to.
Yeah, this is a funny one. So this was at the Goshen the game was being played at the Goshen Annex, which is a reform school for really, really bad youth who hadn't quite gotten to the 20-year-old mark yet.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do some bad stuff to get into there.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened is back then there was a Catholic high school league, and Epiphany High School out of New Windsor was playing Sugarloaf, or back then it was called Pope Pius XII, over in Sugarloaf. And they were playing each other, and both teams had big stars. Epiphany had this guy named McCarthy. Pius had this guy named Atwood, both big guys. And it was billed as a terrific game. And Dad says, "You want to go?" And I go, "Yeah." And so we drive over to the Goshen Annex, and we're met by this one guy, and he was scary looking at the door. And you hear bang, bang, bang of the metal doors. And my dad even was like, my dad wasn't a hand holder, and he hold my hand, make sure you don't get lost.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to the dressing room, and the officials dressed. I went out to the court, and I go, it's kind of weird. All the Epiphany people are over by the wall, kind of huddled over there. I go, no problem. I'm going to sit at half court. Nobody there. I got lots of room. Perfect. Problem was, right before the game, all the inmates started coming in. All these guys in white T-shirts and khaki pants. And they all sat around me. And one guy goes, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "My father's a referee." And fortunately, nothing happened. We got out as soon as the game was over. I dashed for the locker room to get to my dad. We got escorted out. We left. I go, in my head, I never asked my dad. I go, because I was a good kid. I was a goody two shoes. I never got in trouble. But I go, "Dad, were you trying to teach me something here?" I go, "I learned my lesson. I will never go to prison."
You should have brought Sean then.
Yeah, my younger brother.
Uncle Sean.
That could have been a different story.
See, all right. To give give an example of the dichotomy between Dad and Uncle Sean, I went over to a friend of mine's house, and that friend's father went to school with Dad. So when I'm over there, and I'm saying to him, it's like, "Hey, do you got any stories about my dad? Anything from high school? Anything you could tell me?" And he's like, "Honestly, your dad was a stand-up guy. He was really good. He was a great teammate, just good friend, quiet, but, always seemed to be doing the right thing. Always was happy to be playing with them, working with them. Nobody else I'd be out on the court or out on the fields with." And I'm like, "Come on, are you serious?" And it's like, "That's all you're giving me?" Boring. So then I'm like, "All right, well, how about my Uncle Sean then?" And immediately he's like, "I plead the fifth." I was like, so there are stories of Uncle Sean.
Oh yeah, Sean could get himself into trouble without too much.
He got into trouble without too much trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but no, I just thought that was interesting. Didn't you talk to like one of the inmates and they were saying it's like, "Don't worry, we're out for good behavior"?
Yeah. In order to get out here, we had to do like 2 weeks of really good behavior to get permission to come out and watch the game.
Nice.
So he says, we're not going to shank you. Just we'll end up back in the clink.
It's like, "Nah, we worked to get here." It's like, "Nah, you're good. You're good."
It's like,
well, that kind of reminds me. There was this one guy who I knew had some, issues with jail time and whatnot. And we were playing pickup basketball. We would play pickup basketball all the time. And, when you have pickup basketball, none of the rest of your life matters.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you're out on the court, you're playing, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember this guy saying to me one time, it was like, "Connor, I really like you. I'd stab a bitch for you." and I'm like, "Thank you. I know you're serious. Please don't. But thank you."
Well, when Conor was in high school, he would come home and he says, "I know all the bad guys. I know where I could get into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
But they respect me.
Yeah.
And, we're cool.
Yeah.
And, it's not a problem.
They got my back." It's like, yeah, that's exactly what he said. He essentially said he had my back in a very murderous way.
And pause. We're going to take a quick break from our interviews to hear from our sponsors. First up, we got our friend Andrew O'Grady from MHA of Dutchess County.
This winter and holiday season, let's remember something simple but powerful. Check in on your neighbors. A quick hello, a phone call, or even a smile can make a world of difference. This is Andrew O'Grady, CEO at Mental Health America of Dutchess County. When we reach out, we're not just helping others, we're helping ourselves. Staying connected is one of the best ways to boost our mental health and well-being. At Mental Health America of Dutchess County, we believe in building a community where no one feels alone. So take a moment today, make sure you pass along a kind gesture, because kindness is contagious and connection matters. Who knows, maybe that person you made smile will do the same to somebody else. From all of us at MHA of Dutchess County, we wish you the happiest of holidays. And remember, we want you to be your best you possible.
Next, we have a message from our friend Jeff Feldman from Feldman, Kleiman, Collins & Sape LLP, attorneys at law.
Hi, I'm Jeff Feldman. In 1986, when Paul Kleidman and I started our practice, our goal was to create a law firm where you could meet with an attorney and feel confident that that attorney would be with you every step of the way. Today, the firm has been successfully trying cases at all levels of state and federal courts throughout the Hudson Valley and Capital District. We have been selected as one of the best personal injury and medical malpractice defense law firms by U.S. News and World Report every year since 2009. For all of those years, we were the only firm chosen in any litigation specialty between Albany and White Plains. Your case is important to us. Giving you the time and personal attention you deserve has always been the hallmark of success. Initial consultations are free of charge and always with an attorney.
Walsh Wednesday wants to give a big thank you to Prime Storage. It's the end of the year, and you may need to free up space for guests for the holidays, store seasonal decorations, secure valuables, and maybe even hide the presents. A temporary storage unit can help declutter a home, protect fragile items during a busy period, and provide a convenient way to organize and transition belongings before, during, and after the festive season. Whatever the reason, Prime Storage makes storage simple through seamless service, flexible rental options, and facilities conveniently located throughout the United States and Canada. By using our link in the description of this episode, you will get 1 free month of storage, plus you'll save 15% on rental rates. Make the holiday season simpler and store with Prime Storage. Thank you to our Walsh Wednesday All-Stars, all of those who have generously contributed to the Walsh Wednesday 2025 Fund Drive. You can see the list of names on screen or in the description of this episode. And of course, thank you to our Walsh Wednesday Warriors, Jim Robinson, John Newhall, Meg Boyce, and Jenna Hess. These individuals have pledged $100 or more to Walsh Wednesday for 2025, either through the GoFundMe or our Patreon. Thanks for listening, guys. It's time to get back to the show. And play. This episode of Walsh Wednesday is brought to you by MHA of Dutchess County, the Council on Addiction Prevention and Education of Dutchess County Incorporated, Dayrock, Lockset Rock Hair Design, A Touch of Naples Pizza and Pasta, Dutchess Beer Distributors, Feldman, Kleiman, Collins & Sape LLP, attorneys at law, Prime Storage, and Walsh Valuation.
Talking about your basketball career, there are some funny stories that I love telling, when people are like, your dad's a basketball referee, right? And they're like, oh my God, I got some stories for you. Maybe not necessarily the stories that will help with recruitment, but it's still fun stories nonetheless.
Yeah. Well, one more grandpa story.
All right.
I was at a game at Epiphany High School one day. It was a Saturday afternoon, and I think they were playing Pearl River. And my dad was doing both the JV and the varsity game. So I sit up kind of near where the Pearl River cheerleaders were. I was kind of just off to the side. And all the JV players from Pearl River ended up sitting around me. Mm-hmm. So next thing I know, they were asking me, why are you here? And I said, well, my dad's the ref. Mm-hmm. And they said, which one? And I pointed, and he says, oh, that's the one who gave me a technical.
Oh, God.
And I went, oh, really? I'm sorry. He goes, nah, I deserved it.
Again, owned up to it. That's good.
No, I played a couple freshman games when my dad was the referee.
They allowed that?
Wasn't planned, but someone fell off, couldn't make it, and Dad had his stuff, and he did it.
Honestly, he'd probably be harsher than you. Like
I couldn't get away with anything because I used to study the officials, and I knew how to hold, how to grab, because I wasn't fast. I couldn't jump. I'm very average athletic talent. So I knew all the tricks.
Yeah.
My dad knew all the tricks. I couldn't get away with that. And next thing you know, I got 3 fouls. I'm back on the bench. I go, oh, man, I need a different referee for this today.
Well, it's interesting because, when I was in high school, Dad wasn't allowed to ref at FDR because and this is across the board. This is anybody who has a kid at a high school where they would feel like it was
conflict of interest.
Yeah, conflict of interest. Exactly. But in Dad's case here, it made it even worse for you. It wasn't conflict of interest. It was like, oh no, not this ref. Isn't that your dad? Yeah.
Exactly. But we've had some great times refereeing over the years. I mean, you have some terrific games that you're very excited about, or if you have a partner that you really mesh with, and you just bing, bing, and you're complimenting each other with your calls, and you walk out of the gym and you're floating on air because you know that you did the best job you possibly could. I remember a story with Conor.
I was just about to bring the story up. I know exactly what you're going to say.
There was a week where I went through and I was working with guys that either I didn't mesh with, or we didn't see eye to eye on certain things, or, it happens. And then it was Saturday, and I was supposed to do a junior college game over at Dutchess, and I had 2 of my friends were working the game with me, and I was...
You didn't silence your phone?
I'm sorry.
Keep telling the story. I'll silence his phone.
So what happened was I got very excited, and I'm walking out the door, and I go to Conor, I'm really excited because I'm working with 2 of my friends. And next thing you know, Conor turns to me. He goes, "Yeah, but are they excited about working with you?" And I went, "Oh, goodness gracious, I hope so." and
that stuck with him.
And I told that story to the whole board one time, and I got a very positive reaction out of it.
Yeah.
Certain guys were like, "Yeah, it's good. Good to."
I was like 10 years old at the time.
Yeah.
I was young. Yeah. But you even wrote about it, an article about that for what, Referee Magazine, or what's it called?
The Sportorial for IAABO.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's another thing that I picked up. IAABO put out a series of lectures that they had college officials on. And Roger Ayers was on earlier this year. And I passed this along to the board too, because I thought this was a terrific point. At the end of his presentation, he goes, you guys are very lucky. You're officials. You can be out there on the court. Not everyone can do this. Obviously, the people in the stands can't do it because they don't know what they're talking about. A lot of times the coaches can't do it because they coach, but do they really know how to officiate? The players, they're not officials, and hopefully, they stay players until they get old enough, and then they can become officials. Mm-hmm. But you are the guys who are out there on the court every night and doing the job, and hopefully you do a really good job at it, and that's the goal every night.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned before there are certain games and certain moments that really stand out. Are there certain games that you talk about that whole, you're walking on air kind of feeling? Those moments where you are walking on air, we talk about the horror stories, we talk about the funny stories, but talk about 1 or 2 of the games where you left yeah.
Well, I remember one. I did a sectional final down at Crystal Arena at West Point.
Nice.
You were just born.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was trying to convince Mom to bring you, and you didn't come because you were just way too low. You were an infant.
Yeah.
But my mom and dad, I spotted them way up in the stands. What it was Kingston against Pine Bush for the sectional final, Class A, and it was the last game of the day. So a lot of people were hanging around to see this. So there were probably, I think Crystal Arena seats almost 10,000 people.
Holy.
There was maybe 7,500 to 8,000 still in the stands.
That's significant.
And it was memorable. We're running. I remember my partner was Bobby Bauer from Washingtonville, who I broke in with in Orange County when I first started. I thought we did a terrific job. And one of the nicest things about it was, the coach is known for being a little loud. I could see him screaming at me, veins popping out of his neck, but I couldn't hear him.
Because of the crowd and
because of the
everything?
crowd noise. It was wonderful. And we were able to get through the game with no problem because I have no idea what he's screaming at me about.
Just imagine, he could have, he might have or should have gotten 6 technicals based on what he was saying, but you couldn't hear him.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows what was going on? And I thought Bob Bauer and I did a really good job. And funny story before the game.
Okay.
Before the game, I get to West Point and we're trying to park. Crystal Arena's right there by Mikey Stadium. I'm driving around. I can't find any place to park near the arena. I park 4 parking lots up the mountain that you would normally go to one of the football games. And I walk all the way down with my stuff and I get to the door. Fortunately, I had plenty of time. And as I'm walking there, there's an attendant right there by the door. And there's a little parking lot. And I go, is that officials parking? She goes, yeah. And I go, you know what? I am not walking 4 parking lots through the woods at night in case someone jumps me after the game. I'm running up and grabbing my car.
Brought it back down.
Brought it back down.
Good for
brought
you.
it back to the parking lot.
Good for you.
So yeah, that was really one of the best games I've ever had.
That's awesome. I want to talk about some badass moments of your career now for a second. There are 2 stories that I always love telling, just the badass moments of it all. I don't remember who it was you were against or anything like that, but I remember the situations. And this one I got to watch, and whatever it was a good game. Whatever it was a good game, electric kind of game. And I think it was the coach that you were teeing up. You could hear the coach. There was a lot of people in the stands. You could tell this coach was being an a-hole. But then just the way Dad turned and gave him that tee. Oh my God, it was so fluid, so smooth. It was like a dance. I feel like Bruno Tonioli from Dancing with the Stars. You moved like a ballerina. Oh, the smoothness of it all, so romantic. Oh my God, when I tell you, it was the most beautiful technical I've ever seen in my life. I wish I could remember the situation in the game, but I saw that and I'm like, oh, my dad's a badass. That's pretty cool.
Well, I remember that game. It was we had just picked Conor up from college up in Albany, and we were driving back, and I had a game his Christmas break. Coach was just riding me hard, and it was late in the second quarter, and I'm like, I am not taking this all night long. I go, he's got to stop. And this was probably before warnings became popular, so you went right to the technical. So I'm running down court, and he is started at mid-court and was going to run right down the entire court with me down to the baseline. He was going to give me the business. And I'm like, I am not taking this anymore. So we stopped play. They were coming up court. I just, enough. And I turned and teed him up. And I saw you over there. Oh, that was great. That was great.
It was beautiful. It was so beautiful. I've seen him tee up people before. People deserve it, whatever. But just the manner of how you did it was just phenomenal.
The whole key is when you tee up someone, you can't be so mad that you slam your hand down and break your fingers.
Yeah.
So you have to do it with a little finesse.
There's some finesse. There's some grace. But that was memorable. That was memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Well, and I'm kind of old school. Some of the new guys, they can talk to the coaches, and I'm trying desperately to improve on this, and I think I'm getting better at it. But I came from the old school where the officials officiated, the coaches coach, and there was a line between it, and and nowadays you got to have a little flexibility. I remember I told the whole board this the other day. I go, we had an official who was always rated #1 by the coaches for years and years and years. And what his technique was, he would run down court, and the coaches would scream at him, Tommy, and he would go and wink at him. And the coach would go, he's got it. Okay, I can sit down. I can relax. I go, Tom probably doesn't even know what he was screaming about. But he winked at him, and the coaches were like, it also helped. A lot of the coaches knew him for many years. He was a star player. He coached a little bit before he became a referee. That all helps. But he had a way about him.
Yeah.
All he had to do was wink.
Oh, that's cool.
And the game moved on, and I could go up to him and go, Tom, did you hear what he was yelling about? I have no idea, but I know he was yelling, so I just gave him the wink and off.
Wow. Okay.
So
that's a really cool way of going about it.
Yeah, if you have that kind of personality, you can get away with that.
Yeah, that's neat. There's another badass moment that I want to tell because this is another favorite story of mine, of yours. I call it your Matrix moment. How in the Matrix, the original Matrix, how Neo just puts his hand out and stops all the bullets and they drop to the floor. This is your Matrix moment where the guy chucked the basketball at you and you one-hand it.
Oh, yeah.
And you one-hand this basketball, and it was fantastic.
So what happened was we had a play, steal, kid goes in for a layup. The ball came back out onto the court. So the kid just didn't even look. He just flicked the ball back so that the kid could inbound it. Unfortunately, the kid was only about this tall, and the ball whizzed by his head and hit the back wall and went. So now I got parents all upset who are right by that wall. Next thing you know, we go back and forth a couple times, and the ball goes out of bounds. Goes right to this guy, little short, stocky guy with a big Fu Manchu mustache. And he gets up and he throws the ball as hard as he could right at my head.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I caught it. And I walked over to him and I said, sir, we are not starting this game up again until you leave the gym. Fortunately, and then I turned and I went to the coach and I told the coach, I said, we're not playing unless this guy left.
Yeah.
He goes, he left. Again, later on, a couple seasons later, I see him, his kids moved up to varsity, and he's up in the stands, and he apologized.
Oh, wow.
And he shook my hand, and I go, okay, thank you, but I will always be concerned. And take this as a lesson for you, boys and girls who ever become an official. When you run over to pick up a basketball where someone's tossing it to you, drop your whistle, because if that had hit me in the face with the whistle in my mouth, I could have lost a few teeth.
Easily. Oh, my God. Well, at least there's a happy ending to that story.
Yes.
No, that's very nice. You know, little redemption, little learning moment there. That's fantastic. No, but that's cool. And you have these fun moments, and you have these stories that you can tell to your friends, your family, your fellow referees, and there's these good moments. There's this just, it's fun. Keeps life interesting. Couple fun stories. Let's end with.
Fun story.
Well, this one's not necessarily as fun, but I like. It's a heartwarming moment for me. Coach Hart with FDR, before I even got to FDR.
Yes.
There was a game. It was FDR versus somebody. I forget who. It was round out, and it was a rough game. And I remember he said to you, "Is like I promise that Conor's going to be safe."
Yeah. It was a game that was for the division championship.
Yeah.
And it got rowdy. And the stands, the round out student body was getting out of control, and it was really a tough scene. And Conor was sitting right behind, and he was only like 7 or 8 years old.
I wasn't old, yeah.
Yeah, it was a night that mom had to be out, and I said, I'll take him, shouldn't be a problem. Of course it was a problem. And he was sitting right behind the FDR bench, and Kevin Hart, the coach at FDR, says...
Not the comedian.
Yeah. I went to Conor, and I said, you get in the locker room as soon as the game is over. And Conor's going, I want to play out on the court. No, you are going in. And Kevin goes, and Kevin's locker room was right next to ours at that time. And he says, I'll make sure he gets in the locker room.
Yeah.
So on the way home after the game, Conor's like, can we stop for a drink or something? And I go, yeah, I'd like a drink, but I'm not getting a drink until we get into New Paltz and get over the mountain. So we got over into New Paltz, into the mountain, over the mountain, and we stopped at the deli there. And Conor didn't understand that people didn't like us.
No, I didn't quite get that at the time. I was still young, but that was a really nice moment with Coach Hart, and that always stuck with me. And by the time I got to FDR, that was a nice relationship that we had, so that was good. And the last story that I'm going to just bring up, and this one's fun. I don't even think you're refereeing this game. I think we were watching this game together. If I'm not mistaken, it was Saugerty versus Marlborough. And
over at SUNY New Paltz.
Yeah. And I'm telling the story less about the gameplay, but more about the stands.
Oh, it was funny.
It was funny because they're chanting back and forth at each other, and it was probably the best banter that I've ever heard between two schools. And for anybody who doesn't know, Saugerties is known for being the home of Jimmy Fallon. So one of the chants the Marlboro side was saying was like, we want Fallon, da, 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 da. And naturally Saugerties were like, you can't have him, ba, 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 you can't have him. So then for the Marlboro side, is like Saugerties to Marlboro. Marlboro is famously known for being the hometown of Snooki from Jersey Shore. Yes. And this was during Jersey Shore. Like this was probably like when Jersey Shore was the biggest. So they start chanting, we want Snooki, da, 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 da. And Marlboro goes, you can have her. You can have her. And like, take her. Like, you can see the guys up front are like, take her. She's yours. But I just thought that was like a funny back and forth. Like, it was just so fun and electric. I don't remember anything about that game, but I just remember the back and forth between the stands.
It was very good. Very clever. It wasn't rude and crude, but it was fun.
Yeah. No, I thought that was a good time. But see, these are the stories. Like, you can tell like how much fun that we're having from these stories. And if you're interested in reffing, just imagine all the stories that you can tell to your buddies, to your folks at the holidays, whatever it might be. There's just a lot of fun stuff that comes out of it, and you get the joy of helping to lead these games. And say you were a basketball player back in the day, this is your chance to be out on the court again. Coaches would tell us all the time, and it's like, hey, you're going to miss these days. And good chances you are missing these days. So get on out there and enjoy the opportunity to be a part of the play again. Sure, you're not the one shooting the baskets, but you're very much in control of the game.
That is really true. I remember in college, I used to have dreams about, I was a 4-sport athlete in high school.
Yeah.
Played everything. And I really miss being out on the court, the crowd, the excitement of a Friday night at the gym.
Yeah.
And I got to get back into it. And that really drove me, besides, our family sport interest, that, I had to be back out on the court. I had to be part of the action. And that drives a lot of people. Right now, IAABO has IAABO University. You can contact me. We can get you signed up anytime during the year, and you can take the online class and become a certified referee. We can train you. Right now during the season, it's a little tough to train because, myself, I'm basically the trainer. I work about 50 to 60 games a year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm out every night. But after the season, during the summer, in the fall, we can get out on the court, we can work on stuff, and we can get you to be a better official, and you can move up in the ranks. You'd be surprised. If you're good, cream rises to the top, and you can become a very highly desired referee in the area.
I'm sorry, when you say the cream rises to the top, I can't believe you made kind of a Randy Savage reference. The cream of the crop. That's what I thought of the moment you said that.
Well, the thing is,
but yes, you're right. You're right.
So many people used to assume that it was an old boys network, and it might have been at one time. But if you've got talent, we recognize the talent, and we promote the talent, and we want to see talent grow. We'll get you to college camps. We'll get you better. We'll get you to the top of our pecking order of officials.
Yeah.
So, even us officials, we're competitive. We're trying to get the next game, the better game. So we want to be as highly ranked as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So anybody who's interested in becoming a referee, we're going to have my dad's contact information in the description of this episode so you can learn more about IAABO University. Not just that, we're going to have more information in regards to officials versus cancer, how we started this episode with. Of course, that's going to be Sunday, February 1st, starting at 11. That's going to be at Dutchess Community College. It's going to be benefiting the American Cancer Society, as we talked about. You can get this year's shirt. This is the 11th annual. This was last year's. You can get this year's shirt, the 12th annual, along with some other fun stuff. So again, make sure that you check that all out. Be involved in the Hudson Valley sports community. There's so much to get into here. It's a lot of fun. And for those of you who are listening or watching this outside the Hudson Valley, because I know there are some of you people, thank you so much. If you're interested in your area, make sure that you get involved as well. This is something that's going on nationwide where, they need officials. So get involved, have some fun with it. Dad, before we completely wrap up, any last little nugget that you want to share with the Walsh Wednesday listening audience?
Officiating is a lot of fun. 75 to 80% of the nights that I'm out officiating, I leave the gym going, I did a really good job. I had fun. My partner and I meshed. We had a good time. We served the game, as we say. So don't think of it as being crazy out there and you got the fans and the coaches and the players going nuts. Most of the time, you get a really nice night and you have a lot of fun and you're contributing to the game. And we want to encourage people to give it a try.
Nice.
I mean, it's not for everyone, but if you have the ability, you know a little basketball, you can run, you can get up and down the court, you have a feeling for the game, you can go places that you never thought of. Like, you know, I'm sure my dad would say, you know, here Terry is the interpreter of the board. He's refereed all over the state. He's done this, he's done that, he's gone to conventions. You know, how good is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So again, make sure that you check out all the information in the description. Come out to the tournament, meet some people, have some fun. Should be a good time.
Yeah.
Dad, I appreciate you being here today.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
It was a lot of fun.
Yep. I'm Connor.
And I'm Terry.
And as always, we're glad we get to
spend some time.
And that's a wrap on this week's episode. Much love to our sponsors this week: MHA of Dutchess County, Locks That Rock Hair Design, Dutchess Beer Distributors, A Touch of Naples Pizza and Pasta, the Council on Addiction Prevention and Education of Dutchess County, Feldman, Kleiman, Collins & Sape LLP, Attorneys at Law, Prime Storage, Walsh Valuation, and Dayrock. Thank you to our Walsh Wednesday All-Stars, all of those who have generously contributed to the Walsh Wednesday 2025 Fund Drive. You can see the list of names on screen or in the description of this episode. And of course, thank you to our Walsh Wednesday Warriors, Jim Robinson, John Newhall, Meg BOYCE, and Jenna Hess. These individuals have pledged $100 or more to Walsh Wednesday for 2025, either through the GoFundMe or our Patreon. You can support this channel by becoming a Patreon member with memberships as low as $5 a month. With that, you can get behind-the-scenes content, your name featured in the credits of each episode, and access to the Spend Some Time chat. You can find that and more by scanning the QR code on your screen or by going to the links in the description. As always, I'm Connor Walsh, and I'm glad we get to spend some time.